What is going on, Lego Maniacs? It's Tyler here, and welcome to Ty's Talks, episode 8. This one we actually got some really good questions. What's the worst Lego theme? There's going to be a little bit of a hint in the thumbnail, but we got two contenders, so I want to know what you guys think. Leave it in the vote or put it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Anyways, some other great questions. Also, we're going to look into the new Mario theme that's coming out. And a number of other really good questions. You guys thought up some great stuff, and I'm excited to answer it. And again, if you have questions for a next Ty's Talks episode, just leave them in the comments, and I'll get to them in Ty's Talks episode 9. We basically do them once every 3 weeks. Anyways, can't wait to get into it, but enough talk, let's get right into it. And our first question comes to us from the Dark Lord himself, Darth Vader. And he asks, do you like my old version or new version better? Now I'm assuming you're talking about, the original Darth Vader came out in 1999, or the one we have nowadays with kind of like the dual, it's not dual molded, but it has two pieces to his helmet. Honestly, I think the 1999 for nostalgia, for accuracy, I really like the new one better. Just because he's a bit taller, which makes way more sense. Because I remember when I was a kid playing with my Lego, and I'd always be annoyed that Vader was the same height, or slightly shorter actually, than the stormtroopers of the day. That always annoyed me. Now you don't have to deal with that. Now he's taller like he should be. If I'm going to say my favorite Darth Vader though, it's obviously going to be the light up lightsaber Darth Vader. Fantastic. Hands down my favorite Vader. Our next question comes to us from Douglas Graham. I really actually like this one. The question he asks is, would you rather great set with bad figs or the reverse? So this was a tricky one. Best way I can answer this is because it just depends on the set and what I'm looking for. That may be the most usual way of answering it, but it's the best way. I mean, if it's a battle pack, I am looking for minifigs. I could care less about the Lego build. Don't give me a bunch of Imperial officers or stuff like that. Let's give us soldiers. That's what we want. Like literally, it's called build your army, right? So you want an army of stormtroopers, rebel troopers, clone troopers, battle droids. That's what you want, right? So in a set like that, I care about the figs. If, however, I'm buying the new Imperial Star Destroyer, now as much like the UCS one, now as much as the minifigs weren't the greatest in that set, I am looking for the model itself. I want a good model if I'm paying that much money. So I guess it really just depends what type of set it is and what it's supposed to be. What's its purpose? Is it supposed to be an army builder, or is it supposed to just be a really cool set? In the perfect world though, we get both great minifigs and the set, but that's the best way I can answer it. It just depends on what the set is and what its purpose is and what I'm looking to do buying that. And our next question comes to us from Chris Wilcox. He always has the funniest questions. And his first question though is, what are your thoughts on the new Lego Super Mario sets and Lego incorporating sound effects and scanning technology into those sets? I think it's awesome. I think it's really creative on Lego's part. I'm just gonna tell you guys, I love Nintendo. Nintendo is probably my favorite game system out there. As much as I like Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo's great. So I love the idea of them blending the two together. As far as the way they're doing it, I think it's cool, but I want them to also make Lego minifigures. I mean, if they were actually make like Zelda sets or like Metroid sets or stuff like that, that would be phenomenal. I'd really love to see that, but I think it's a step in the right direction. It's taking Nintendo's creativity, obviously what they've created, and making it into Lego, but then Lego taking their own spin and, throwing in those awesome little features and lights and all that stuff, right? So yeah, I think it's a great blend, and I'm excited to see what they create in the future. And our next question, again, as I was saying, comes to us from Chris with the philosophical question. That's why I was kind of laughing. The question he asks is, if you drop a bar of soap on the floor, is the soap now dirty or is the floor clean? So I had to think about this one. If it's like a shower and the soap falls onto the ground and there's water and it's spreading the soap, diluting it, then I'd say that the soap is clean and the floor is getting clean. However, if the soap falls and the floor is dry, the floor is definitely not getting clean. And I don't know, the soap, that's gonna keep philosophers thinking, right? Like, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. But yeah, good question. Leave it to Chris to get into the philosophy. And our next question comes to us from Miha. And he asks, would you like to see more Knights of the Old Republic sets like Even Hawk and the Harbinger? Or maybe if they will make my favorite droid HK-47, which droid is your favorite? Okay, so you asked a couple of really good questions. I love Knights of the Old Republic. That's some of my favorite RTSs out there by far. I don't know if Lego would ever do it. If they did a remake of, you know, that video game, there'd be chances, or if they continued on it like Knights of the Old Republic 3, there'd be a chance of them doing it. But as it stands, as it being like a 2003, 2005 game, like Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, Lego's probably not going to go and revisit that since it's so old. But if they make another game that's based off of like Knights of the Old Republic, maybe Knights of the Old Republic 3, or a straight out remake of it, I can definitely see that happening. I love HK-47. He calls like humans, any organics, meat bags. He's great. And my favorite droid, by far, it's probably R2-D2. He just has a lot of personality. He's a very loyal little droid. And yeah, I love that about him. And our next question comes to us from Clone Commander Studio, and he asks, what's your favorite type of Lego sets? So this is a really good question. I had to think about it. Now, as much as I love UCS sets and all that good stuff, I really like the adventure theme sets that are kind of like that, like the Pirates Perilous Pitfall, the Temple of Anubis, probably mentioned that almost the last 3 episodes in a row. You know, the Amazon Ancient Ruins, those are all great sets, but then when Star Wars does it, I like it a lot as well, like the Cloud City, Betrayal at Cloud City set, the Jabba's Palace. I obviously love really detailed big models, but I really like it when it's kind of like an adventure or like a landscape or some sort of building and there's crazy things going on. That's probably one of my favorite things to see in a set. So that's the easiest way or best way, I guess, I can describe what my all-time favorite type of Lego sets are like. And our next question comes to us from Darth Vader, and he asks, would the Imperial flagship sink Brickbeard's bounty? Yes, just basically based off of the Imperial flagship being one of the biggest Lego pirate ships, and Brickbeard's bounty, at least the one from 2009, is not nearly as big. So I'd say the Imperial flagship. Good question. Next question comes from Kiashton Awesome, and she asks, do you think you could build a small house with all the Lego you own? So I had to think about this. I have about 4 or 5 really big containers under my bed, and then I have 4 big drawers, like they're literally like container drawers. No, 6 big container drawers from IKEA. So I think I could make a very small house. I think it'd be a very expensive house just because I think I could sell it. And yeah, it would be better to go and buy a house with it, or at least put a down payment on it. But yeah, good question. But to answer it, I think I'd have enough to probably make a house, a small house. And our next question comes to us from Mohaka de Cincy, and I love this question. In fact, it's even in the thumbnail. He asks, worst Lego theme in your opinion? Great question. Now, there was a lot of takers, okay? But I've basically broken it down, you know, thinking day and night about this, into 2 themes. Fabuland and Galador. They are terrible in their own ways. I mean, look at those Fabuland sets, like just awful with the animals and like just, is it Duplo? Is it Lego? Nobody knows. And Galador. You think Star Wars buildable figures were bad, which I'm not gonna say a lot of them weren't. I'm not saying that. Galador is just, I don't know what Lego was thinking there. They had Bionicle going on at the same time. Bionicle was good. Galador was like Bionicle's, I don't know, ugly stepbrother. Like, it's just, that's the best way I can describe it. It's just bad. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you guys like it, I'm not meaning to offend you, but yeah, those are the worst 2 themes. But let me know what you guys think about that. What's your opinion on the worst Lego themes? Do you agree with that? Do you not? I'm always interested to get your guys' take on it. But that's from my day and night of not sleeping. You know, that's the answer I came up with, Mohaka. And we have another question from Dark Jedi Films, and he asks, are those A-Wings you have on the table yours or customs? So I had A-Wings on the table, and those are just normal sets from Lego. I actually did a review on, 3 A-Wings where I compared them. So yes, just to answer it quickly, those are not customs. I would like to get into customs more, but they're not customs. And we have another question from Miha, and he asks, would you rather bring back Pirates or Castle? This is a great question. I had a hard time thinking about this. I'm gonna say right now, just because I'm in love with the Barracuda base set, I'm gonna say Pirates. However, if Castle brings out an amazing Castle set as well, it can easily lead to Castle. Like, they're kind of just right down the middle. I love them both, basically. They're 2 of my favorite Lego themes out there. Great question. I had a little bit of trouble answering that one. And our next question comes to us from JH, and he asks, did you ever hear of Santi Animal? I've never heard of Santi Animal, however, I checked them out, and I thought they were great, like, in their own way. Like, they're basically like, yeah, they're kind of like a German boy band, except a lot of them are like in their 60s, it looks like. And they make like pirate music, like Sabaton, like we checked last Ties Talks, is kind of like a Viking band. These guys are kind of like a pirate band. So anyways, I thought they were cool. Check them out. I listened to 2 of their songs, finding out all this new music on Ties Talks. Anyways, I like the question, and yeah, thanks for introducing me to a cool band. And our next question comes to us from Jawa, and he asks, do you hate the First Order ATST? Well, no. Like I said, I love the First Order ATST. Like in the earlier episode, great, fantastic build. It's just a dream set. Every collector's dream, basically. No, obviously the First Order ATST is, I don't know if I hate it, but I really don't like it. If you got it for a good deal again, that's fine. But it's full retail price without a head. The minifigs are subpar. You get Phasma, which is kind of cool. And just selling anything incomplete is just not right. Like, imagine if you got the hyperdrive. Actually, that's not even as good of an example. Imagine if you got the Republic Cruiser, this set right here, without the head. You'd be ticked off, right? Let's say, oh, well, the head blew up first in the Phantom Menace, so let's remove the head and we just have the body. It wouldn't work, right? So I have issues with it. What could have been done to make that set a lot better is have the head, but make it detachable like in the scene. Everyone would have been happy that way. So anyways, hope that answers that question. And our next question comes to us from Miha, and he asks, have you read any Star Wars novels like Revan, Deceived, Republic Commando? I have not read any of those, but I've played the games Republic Commando at least halfway through, and I've played both the Knights of the Old Republic games. I have read a number of Star Wars books, like The Rise and Fall of Darth Vader, the Swarm War series, great series. Yeah, so I've read some Star Wars books. Yeah, basically, I hope that answers it. But I know what you're talking about. Those are great stories that you just mentioned there. I love Revan. He's one of my all-time favorite Star Wars characters. Really enjoyed that question. And then our last one comes to us from Carbon, and he asks, what are your thoughts on the new Lamborghini Sian FKP, and will you be getting it? So, I think that Lamborghini looks fantastic. It is a great looking model. Really, really impressed by it. The only thing that I don't like about it is all Technic. And as you guys know, if you watch the live streams, I'm not a huge fan of those builds, but I do appreciate how they look when they're built. So my thoughts on it, I think it's a beautiful model, and if you like Technic, buy it. If you're a little bit not on the Technic side like me, which it sounds like you're not, maybe don't buy it unless it's on sale. I mean, if it goes on sale and I see it, I might just bite the bullet and do it, because that would be a great model to have on my shelf, or anyone's shelf, right? Anyways, that's all I got for you in this episode of Ties Talks. But again, if you have questions for future episodes, like Ties Talks episode 8, just leave them in the comments and I'll get to them in that one. We do them again every 3 weeks. But yeah, thanks again for all the questions, really good ones. You had me thinking a lot, and yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it makes the episode interesting when you guys come up with all these great questions. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. But if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing. And yeah, click that bell so you're notified for any future Ties Talks we do on this channel. But yeah, thanks again. Appreciate the support a lot, guys. and I'll catch you on the next one.